Thank you so much, Mataji, for your great association. Hare Krishna.
The recording has started. This session is no longer being recorded. The recording has started.
Welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have Indu Mataji. Mataji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 23rd chapter, 32 verse onwards. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Our to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic, Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll hand out the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Matajis. I'd like to offer my gratitude to all of the organizers, specifically Shama Gauri Mataji and Preeti Vilasni Mataji, for giving me this opportunity, for helping me out through this entire verse, and for allowing me to speak irrespective of all of my shortcomings. I would also like to offer my sincere obeisances at each one of your feet. Please bless and pray that I would be able to speak something meaningful. So with that, I have no qualification to speak, but thank you so much for allowing me to. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 23, Text 32. Brahmano Brahma Varchasvi Rajanyo Jagatipati Vaishya Pathan Vitpachischa Chudra Satamatam Iyat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If one hears of the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj and is a Brahmana, he becomes perfectly qualified with Brahmanical powers. If he is a Kshatriya, he becomes a king of the world. If he is a Vaishya, he becomes a master of other Vaishyas and many animals. And if he is a Shudra, he becomes the topmost devotee. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that one should become a devotee regardless of one's condition. Whether one is without desire, akama, or with desire, sakama, or whether one desires liberation, mokshakama, he is advised to worship the Supreme Lord and execute devotional service unto Him. By so doing, one attains all perfection in any field of life. The process of devotional service, especially hearing and chanting, is so powerful that it can bring a person to the perfectional stage. In this verse, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are mentioned. But it should be understood that this reference is to the Brahmanas who are born in a Brahmanical family, the Kshatriya who is born in a Kshatriya family, the Vaishya who is born in a Vaishya family, and the Shudra who is born in a Shudra family. But whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, he can attain perfection simply by hearing and chanting. To take birth in a family of Brahmanas is not the ultimate finishing touch. One must have the power of a Brahmana, which is called Brahma Tejas. Similarly, taking birth in a royal family is not the all in all. One must possess the power to rule the world. Similarly, taking birth as a Vaishya is not all. One must possess hundreds of thousands of animals, specifically cows, and rule over other Vaishyas, as Nanda Maharaj did in Vrindavan. Nanda Maharaj was a Vaishya who possessed 900,000 cows and ruled over many cowherd boys and men. A person who is born in a Shudra family can become greater than a Brahmana simply by accepting devotional service and giving oral reception to the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा माह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्. Reading the translation once again. If one hears of the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj and is a Brahmana, he becomes a perfectly qualified with Brahmanical powers. If he is a Kshatriya, he becomes a king of the world. If he is a Vaishya, he becomes a master of other Vaishyas and many animals. And if he is a Shudra, he becomes the topmost devotee. So these last few verses in chapter 23 of this canto, fourth canto, from verse 31 to 39 are the falastuti, or the fruits of hearing the glories of Prithu Maharaj's life. So in general, the falastuti is there at the end of several different stutis and stotras, and it just lists all the benefits that one can derive if they listen attentively to this particular pastime. So this is specifically to attract all the people who are seeking a specific material result from these prayers, or even if people who are not interested in selflessly offering prayers to the Lord, if they want to get some immediate results. So, and it helps in keeping them focused on this path, because it would say, okay, this particular stotra or this particular stuti, if you recite it a certain number of times, then you're going to be awarded this particular material fruit of happiness, of wealth, of long life, you'll have children, etc. But it also gives us long-term results. So that helps in giving us ultimately the most prized, the most coveted spiritual fruit of the love of Krishna. So, like that, even in this section, it says that ultimately anyone who listens to the pastimes of Prithu Maharaj, in the final verse, it does say that they would get elevated and ultimately become a pure devotee of the Lord. They are going to be attracted to the lotus feet of the Lord. So, how is it that when we listen attentively to the holy name or the pastimes of the Lord or his glorious devotees, that we receive special mercy? So, even on a mundane level, research has shown that sound waves are the most effective way to communicate with the brain and the nervous system. And it has even the ability to affect our level of consciousness. So, based on what activities we do, our level of consciousness changes, which is why it is always recommended that we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very attentively, so that that transcendental sound vibration will help redirect our mind, our attention, and our consciousness to Krishna. And it will remind us of our loving relationship that we have eternally with Him. So, in this regard, there is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.90, Canto 10, Chapter 90, Text 50. मर्त्यस्तातयानुसवम् एधिताय मुकुन्द श्रीमत्कथाश्रवणकीर्तनचिन्तयन्त्येति तद्धाम दुष्टारकृतान्तजवापवर्गं ग्रामाद्वनं क्षितिभुजोऽपि ययुर्यद् अर्था. So, this explains that by regularly hearing, by chanting and meditating on the beautiful topics of Lord Mukunda with increasing sincerity, any person would be able to attain the divine kingdom of the Lord. So, for this purpose, several people, including great kings, abandoned their homes and took to the forest, just like what we see in the case of Prithu Maharaj. So sometimes we feel like, okay, Krishna Katha should only be related to Krishna, but this is not quite so. It is, and it's not quite great to hear from about the pastimes of his pure devotees. But the Srimad Bhagavatam has completely shattered this point. By repeatedly giving us examples and telling us that when we hear about the pure devotees of the Lord, it is more glorious than Krishna's own pastimes. Since even Krishna is going to be present in the midst, because he is so eager to listen to the nectarian pastimes of his pure devotees. So, in this regard, there is a story from where I belong. So, there is a very famous Shiva temple in South India, in the place called Kotiur. That Shiva temple is supposed to be located in the place where Daksha Yaga had taken place, and Shiva had to appear, and Sati had to give up her life. So that is where the Shiva temple is. So it is very interesting that this particular temple is only open 28 days in the entire year. The rest of the year it is closed. But during those 28 days, there is a huge flood of faithful devotees who want to take darshan of the Lord. So some time back, there was this great devotee of Lord Krishna in Kerala. His name was Poondanam. He was a very great devotee, and he was such an expert reader of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the devotees, what they did is they arranged for Poondanam so that he could read the Srimad Bhagavatam at the Shiva temple for those 28 days. So all of them could come and they could all hear this narration from his lips. You know, he used to sing it very, very sweetly. So Poondanam started reciting the Bhagavatam every day, and he used to do that in front of the deities. So several hundreds of thousands of people would come and they would listen to his sweet discourse on the wonderful pastimes. And then when he reached the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 60th chapter, that is titled Lord Krishna Teases Queen Rukmini. So in that pastime, in that chapter, it discusses how the Lord was trying to play with his wife, Queen Rukmini, and he wanted to listen to her. So he asks her, he teases her on why she wanted to get married to the Lord when she had so many better choices. And how Queen Rukmini, she hears this and she faints, and how the Lord has to console her. So this was kind of what the chapter is about. So Pundanam, he finished reading this part of the chapter, and once this chapter was over, he kept a bookmark at the beginning of the next chapter so that he can come, and the next day he could just continue reading from there. So when he comes the next day, he sees that the bookmark is placed at the beginning of this chapter. So because he has a very packed schedule, he is always reading the Bhagavatam in several different places. He didn't realize that he already read this chapter here. So he goes back and he reads the same part the second day, and he goes. So at the end of the day, he does the same thing. He places the bookmark at the beginning of the next chapter, and then he leaves. He keeps the Bhagavatam is always placed in the temple so that he can come back and read again next day. And then when he comes on the third day, the bookmark is again placed at the beginning of this chapter. So Pundanam doesn't even realize. He reads the same chapter, and this goes on for the rest of the days. The audience, they were all wondering what is going on, what is wrong with this person, why is he reading the same thing repeatedly? But for Pundanam, because of his taste for Bhagavatam, it seemed like it was ever fresh. It seemed like so nectarian, the pastimes of the Lord. Even if he heard it 1,000 times, it always seemed very fresh. And in this regard, in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, there is a verse, Canto 12, Chapter 12, Text 50. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam tadeva Shasvan manaso mahotsavam tadeva so karnava soshanam nrinam yad uttama shloka yasho nugiyate. So what that says is that the glories of the all-famous personality of Godhead, they are so attractive, relishable, and ever fresh. Indeed, such words are a perpetual festival for the mind, and they dry up the ocean of misery. So finally, it was the last day to close the temple for the year. Once again, Pundanam read the same chapter. He finished the discourse, and he was returning from the temple with all the other devotees. And what happened? He forgot to take his Bhagavatam with him, so he left it back in the temple. After walking a little ways, he realized, oh my God, I have to go back and bring the Bhagavatam. So he hurried back and he crossed the river, and once he reached the entrance of the temple was closed and he was all alone. But he could hear somebody reciting the same part of the chapter from the Bhagavatam inside the temple. So then he was like wondering, this place is closed, who is reading from inside? And so he decides to look through the tiny keyhole, and he sees Lord Shiva. He himself was reading from Pundanam's Bhagavatam. And Mother Parvati and all of the other Bhutaganas are listening to him. And their eyes were full of tears out of devotion. Pundanam, he stood there, he was motionless. He could hear the whole recitation. He was so stunned. And at the end of reciting all this, Lord Shiva speaks to Parvati Devi. He asks her, did you like my recitation? And Parvati Devi replies, yes, it was very nice, but it was not quite as good as Pundanam. So Lord Shiva replies, yes, that is true. I really love to hear from the Bhagavatam from Pundanam. That is why every day I go back and place the bookmark at the beginning of the same topic. So hearing this, Pundanam, he was completely shaken up. He uttered the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, so loudly. He was like, and in ecstasy. And when he watched again, everyone was gone. Lord Shiva, Mother Parvati, everyone had disappeared from his sight. So this shows us how eager even Lord Shiva, he is the Param Vaishnava, and Mother Parvati Devi, who is herself a very great devotee, they like to hear the story of another great devotee from the mouth, from the lips of Pundanam, from the lips of another devotee, Pundanam. So, coming back to this verse, so Maitreya Muni, he is explaining to Vidura the benefits of hearing the glories of Prithu Maharaj, pastimes, for each of the different varnas in this particular shloka. That is what they are focusing on. And Srila Prabhupada explains that irrespective of whether one is full of material desires, who does not desire anything materially, or who is desiring liberation, he must, by all means, he must worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. So he's quoting from the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, text, Canto 2, chapter 3, text 10. And the Varnashram system is actually based on each individual's innate training, their tendencies for work, their personal qualities. It is based on their character. And that's why Lord Krishna itself in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Chaturvarnya maya sishtam gunakarma vibhagasa tasya kartaram api mam vidya akartaram avyayam, which is according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them. The four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So because this Varnashram system is created by the Supreme, it cannot be changed. It is prevalent everywhere. So Srila Prabhupada says that it is like the sun. The sun is a creation of the Supreme. And the sunshine is there irrespective of whichever part of the world we are in. So in the same way, Varnashram system is also prevalent everywhere in some form or the other. So based on that, we have the four Varnas. And from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, text 42 to 44 tells us what the work of each one of those are. So peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work, is what chapter 18, text 42 says. And heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership. Those are the qualities of work for the Kshatriya. Farming, cow protection, business are all the natural work for a Vaishya, and there is labor and service to others for the Shudras. So that's how these four classes of men were created, and they are prevalent everywhere under different names because it was created by the original creator. So it is prevalent everywhere, the Varnashram, as the Varnashram Dharma. So now, because the traditional skills were passed from parents to offsprings, the children also inherit the Varna of their parents, and that's how this verse specifically refers to the Brahmins who are Brahmin by birth and the Kshatriya. So each of the Varnas as they are related through birth, not based on their karma. So we all have our own responsibilities, we all have our own duties to perform, and just like how it is the duty of the mother to care for her child, but irrespective of our Varna and Dharma, our foremost duty is to constantly serve the Lord and to perform devotional service to Him. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, text 2, verse 6 says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktera dokshaje ahetukya apratihata yayatma suprasidati. That the supreme occupation or dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. And such devotional service, it must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. And the way in which we can attain the loving devotional service, Prahlad Maharaj has mentioned that there are 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, and Atmanivedanam, by which and through these 9 processes we can attain that love of Godhead. And Shravanam and Kirtanam are specifically very important, as we all know that hearing from the text of the Srimad Bhagavatam is considered the most important process of hearing, because it is full of transcendental chantings of the holy name. It is highly recommended because it continuously talks about the holy name, it talks about the pastimes of the Lord, it talks about the pastimes of the devotees of the Lord. And we also told that the transcendental holy name, it should be heard and we should chant according to the attraction of the devotee. So but we pray to Lord Krishna, and so it is always best to hear the holy name, to hear about the form, about the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees from a realized devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who is particularly attracted to the form of Lord Krishna. So if we do that, then we easily succeed in the path of devotional service. Now, in this age of Kali, everyone is born a Shudra, irrespective of what family they are born into. It is said, Kalo Shudra Sambhava, Janmana Jayate Shudra, Sanskara Dvij Uchyate. By birth, one is a Shudra who is not knowledgeable, but by purification, enrichment, and education, one becomes Dvija or knowledgeable. So even if we are born in a Brahmanical family, because it is not surcharged with Brahmatejas or the transcendental purity, we are categorized as Shudra. So it's only after we perform all of the sanskaras or the learning processes that a person can become a Brahmana. But we should all remember that the topmost Brahmana is definitely a Vaishnava, because a Brahmana is one who knows Brahman, who knows the Parabrahma, that is Krishna, and a Vaishnava knows Krishna. Brahma Janati Brahmana, one who knows Brahman is a Brahmana. So this is from Atri Samhita. And Srila Prabhupada, he explains about each one of these. So just like how he is talking about the Brahmanas, he is also explaining that the Kshatriyas, Shat means to injure and Tra means to protect or to liberate. So one who protects a human being from being hurt by others, he is a Kshatriya. So in the same way, Parashara Muni, he has mentioned in the Parashara Smriti that the Kshatriya's duties is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties. And for this reason, he has to apply violence in some cases. And therefore, he has to conquer soldiers of inimical kings, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule all over the world. So now coming to the Vaishyas, the responsibility of the Vaishyas is farming, trading, money lending, and most importantly, cow protection. So just like the Kshatriyas protect the human population, It is the duty of the Vaishyas to protect animals and to protect the cows. And the Lord Himself has shown us by His own example that He is the supreme protector of the cows. He is Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. He's the well-wisher of the cows and the brahmanas and the well-wisher of the entire human society. So they have specifically mentioned that we have to protect the cows. Unfortunately, that is not being seen in this present day and age when the cows are being tormented so much. And when Srila Prabhupada, he is concluding with a very emphatic statement. He talks about a person who is born in a Shudra family, he can become greater than a Brahmana just simply by accepting devotional service and giving oral reception to the pastimes of the Lord and His devotees. So, a topmost devotee's only qualification is that he should be a topmost servant. And as a Shudra, we are in the mood of servitorship, and that can help us perfect our consciousness and to be engaged in devotional service. So there is a very beautiful story of Sri Kanchi Purna, who was a Shudra by birth, and he was born in the 10th century, and he was born in the village of Pundamalai in Tamil Nadu. So he was not very educated from childhood, but he was extremely busy all the time in the service of Sri Varadaraj, the deity over there. So every day for the puja of Sri Varadaraj, he would go from Pundamalai to Kanchipuram. Both places are in Tamil Nadu. And now Pundamalai is a part of Chennai, so he would go that far every single day. And so seeing this, his strong desire and strong devotion to the Lord, even the greatest of Pandits over there used to look at him with respect. And because he could not enter inside the temple, he would always wave a fan outside. He would just stand outside the altar, and he would wave a fan in cold, that is completely drenched in cold water during the summer season, and he would feed the Lord. And he used to take special care. He would find the best flowers and with the most fragrance, and he would find the most sweetest fruits, and he would go pluck them. He would get them. He would either buy them or he would beg for them, and he will offer this to his beloved Sri Varadaraj. So in back then, people believed that Sri Kanchi Purna, he was not a normal human being, that he was in the service of Sri Varadaraj and had come specifically from Vaikunta to serve the Lord here. And the residents of Kanchipuram, they also loved and they respected him very, very much because of his nature. He was like a child. He was always smiling. He was never proud, never egoistic. He was very straightforward. And so anyone who looked at him, his sorrow would immediately vanish off. So, but one thing that they all noticed was that while he would be talking to them, in between he would always kind of sometimes start talking to an invisible person in the middle of their conversation. It was like he is seeing someone else there and he can talk to them. So the people believed that was the Lord Varadaraj himself. And Varadaraj, he constantly used to talk to him in between when Sri Kanchi Purna was talking to other people. So everyone knew that he kept talking, that the Lord used to talk to him. So they considered his expressions as that of Varadaraj itself. So they did not find him as any different. Although he was born from a lower caste, it did not matter. So, but in spite of being the chief devotee of the Lord, Sri Kanchipurna, he always introduced himself as a Shudra. He would specifically respect the Brahmins, although the Brahmanas respected him very, very much, even at that time in the 10th century. So, and seeing this, Ramanujacharya was so impressed seeing his devotion, and he kept requesting Sri Kanchipurna to accept him as his disciple. But every time Kanchipurna, he would avoid it, saying that, okay, no, I am a Shudra. But actually, he was also the disciple of Sri Yamunacharya. He was one of the 5 very intimate disciples of Sri Yamunacharya. But even then, he would never give initiation, or he would not accept Ramanujacharya as his disciple. And so according to Ramanujacharya, he did not find any other person who was more respectful than Sri Kanchipurna. So he kept thinking of ways to make sure that Sri Kanchipurna somehow initiated him. So one time he came up with this idea that I will invite him for lunch, and then I can eat his leftover food, and that will sanctify me. So Ramanujacharya, he insisted that, okay, you should come to my home and you should have lunch. But Sri Kanchipurna, he already knew why Ramanujacharya was asking him. And so what he did was, he came to their house at the time when Ramanujacharya was not home, and he asked he asked Ramanujacharya's wife for the food. And after he ate it up quickly before Ramanujacharya came back, he ate his food, and whatever was left over, he threw it out so that Ramanujacharya won't be able to find it. Now, when Ramanujacharya came back, he was really upset to see that, he had already, Sri Kanchipurna, he had come, he had his lunch over there, and after he left, there was no more remains in his plate. So he felt very bad, and his wife was his wife decided that, okay, fine, because the Shudra has entered the house, now I have to take a bath. And so she was showering and she was preparing fresh food for him. And Ramanujacharya, he was really, really angry with her, because this is an insult to a great saint like Sri Kanchipurna. Because he knew that there is no caste for devotees, as they are only the form of God, and God resides in their heart. So after this particular incident, Sri Kanchipurna, he left for Tirupati, and when he came back to Kanchipuram, Ramanujacharya again, he prays. He said, okay, can you please pray to Bhagavan Varadaraj and find out, I have some doubts in my mind. Can you please clear that? Now Kanchipurna, because the Lord talks to him. Kanchipurna spoke to the Lord, and he asks him to clear Ramanujacharya's doubt. And then the Lord, Sri Varadaraj, he says 6 things to clear all of Ramanujacharya's doubt. And one of these is that he should attain initiation from another of the principal disciples of Yamunacharya, Sri Mahapurna. And with that, Ramanuja's search for his guru was over, and he took initiation from Sri Mahapurna. So after the Ramanujacharya was initiated, Sri Kanchipurna, he was very emotional, and he got very ecstatic, and for the first time he addresses Ramanujacharya as Yatiraj. And even today people do address Sri Ramanujacharya in the name of Yatiraj. So by hearing his story, we realize that he was such a pure Vaishnava, where we find the highest degree of love for God. And whatever love he had for the Lord, in the same way, he was able to love all of the devotees of the Lord also. And so the only motto of his life was always to serve both the Lord and his devotees. Just like how when we hear about Prithu Maharaj also, Prithu Maharaj was also so keen to serve the Lord, to serve the devotees of the Lord. He had served the Sanat Kumaras and so well, and they became his guru. So, in the same way, we are also going to develop attraction for the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna by listening to Prithu Maharaj's story. With this, I'd like to end here with a small quote from Srila Prabhupada on all of our positions. He says that sparks are beautiful as long as they are in the fire. Similarly, we have to remain in the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always engage in devotional service. For then, we shall always be brilliant and illuminating. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Mataji. Thank you so much for wonderful class, Mataji. It was so beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. If anybody have any questions or realization, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Indu Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice class. Very nicely explained everything. Very nice class, and I also like the pastimes of Varadraj and Kanchipura. It's very, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Kaumudiki Mataji. Thank you for your kind words, and please bless Mataji that we can also follow your path.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Indu Mataji. You just flooded us in an ocean of nectar. It was so beautiful. The two stories were very well thought out of, and the last quote by Srila Prabhupada, that was so beautiful. And all the verses you quoted from different places, from Bhagavatam and so many other places, they were very relevant and very beautifully done. Thank you so much. The class was, actually it was so good. It was really, really very, very good class. And thank you for your realizations. You made our morning very beautiful. Thank you so much, Indu Mataji. Wonderful, wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. It all goes back to you, Ali Mataji. You are my guide, and you're the one who gives me all of these realizations. These are not my realizations, these are realizations that you have. These are realizations from other Guru Maharajas. These are realizations from other Prabhu's classes also that I heard. So, thank you so much, Mataji, for all your help and all your support. Really cannot do it without you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Shamagari Mataji. Dandavad Pranams.
Beautiful class, Mataji. Very nice narration of the story, Mataji. So, Mataji, the second story you were talking about Kanchipurna. So, Ramanujacharya, he took initiation from Kanchipurna. That's what you're saying?
No, Mataji, Kanchipurna did not allow. He did not allow Ramanujacharya to get initiated under him. And the Lord Varadaraj, he will advise Ramanujacharya to get initiation from Mahapurna, another disciple of Yamunacharya.
Okay. Yeah, very nice, Mataji. Very nice.
Thank you, Mataji.
Beautiful class, Indu Mataji. Very beautiful. Mataji, you said there were 6 questions. Those were asked to Varadaraj. Do you have those questions, or that's the only?
I can get back to you on that, Mataji. I only have this one question on whom should he take initiation from. That was one.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay,
I'll get
Mataji,
back. Thank
you
you
for
so
the
much,
beautiful
Mataji.
stories. Thank you. So grateful to you for this class, Mataji. Thank you. and give the association prayers more often, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Thank you, Mataji. Please bless me, Mataji, that I can speak properly, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Indu Gopi, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam to your sincere seva, Mataji. Please give your association regularly. How much potency in your class I want to explain in 2007 when we visit to Shishi, all Kanchipuram, Mahabalipuram, Tirupati Balaji and other place, all the South India Yatra, 80 days. That time Maharaj health is not good, so this class is taken by Gauranga Prabhuji, H.G. Gauranga Prabhuji, and that is exactly like it, exactly like that you explained today's story. Yes, you are right, Mataji. Mahapurna is Vadraj Bhagwan is telling to Mahapurna. Mataji, thank you very much for two story, Kanchipuram story. Thank you very much, Mataji. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam to your sincere seva. See, in a very young age, you get the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Gurudev, and Shri Radha Gopinath. And Mataji, please sing one Vaishnav bhajan. Your voice is so good for all of us.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your very kind words. And please bless me. Thank you so much. Bless all of us. And thank you for your association. You always have very sweet things to say about everyone. Mataji, I don't know any Vaishnava bhajans properly, Mataji. But please sing. Mataji, you have a wonderful voice, and you and Kaumodiki Mataji really makes our day on all of the CC classes, especially the Brihad Bhagavatamrita classes. You both sing and make it so beautiful. Thank you so much. Mataji, please sing for us, Mataji.
Haribol Mataji, Vaishnav song book is not in my hand. I am singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra by your request. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtavutala Samadi Bhakti Vedanta Samayati Namine. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Radhe Shri Shri Radha Rashbihari Jaya Radha Rashbihari Jaya Radha Rashbihari Jaya Radhe Radhe Shri Shri Radha Madhava Jisi Radha Madhava Shri Shri Radha Madhav Shri Shri Radha Madhav Shri Shri Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radhe Radhe Shri Shri Radha Vrindavaneshwari Radha Vrindavaneshwari Radha Vrindavaneshwari Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Shri Shri Gauranitai Sri Sri Gauranitai Shri Shri Gauranitai Shri Shri Gauranitai Shri Shri Jagannatha Shri Shri Baladeva Shri Shri Subhadra Rani Shubhadra. Please pray. Please, I am praying to Shri Shri Radha Madan that I get
this much strong association every day. And Lotus feet of Sri Radha Gopinath, please give your association all of us. Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Very, very wonderful, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Very, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Really made our day. That's so beautiful song. Thank you so much, Mataji.
You made our day, Mataji. Please give your association regularly. Nobody is senior and junior in Bhakti. You proved today.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Indu Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much. No words to describe. The class was simply super, very easy to understand the verse clearly. Each aspect of the purport was clearly explained detailedly with several verses quoted from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatham, and also the beautiful stories that really explains us the essence of the purport. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your very, very valuable association to us this morning and enlightening us very nicely, Mataji. Thank you so much. My pranams to your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranams to Hare Krishna.
I forgot the name of the devotee who was reading Rukmini pastimes and Lord Shiva.
Poondanam.
What is the name of the devotee again, please?
Poondanam. Poondanam
Poondanam?
is, yes. Do you know Bhattatiri? Bhattatiri and Poondanam were around the same time. Bhattatiri is he is another very scholarly person also, but he is also a great devotee. He writes another version of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Poondanam was a very sweet devotee.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
I heard part of this, but today I heard whole thing, whole story about it. Poonananda, right?
Yes, Mataji, Poondanam. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Please
you.
come and give us more and more nectar. Thank you.
Jai.
Thank you, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, for your very sweet comments. Please bless me and please continue to give me your association, Mataji. You are our strength and you teach us, you brought us into Krishna consciousness practically. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Indu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. The class is really, really superb, Mataji. And the two stories you have narrated as the Kumdanam story and the Kanchipurna story. Those are very, very, really inspiring, Mataji. Those stories and giving so much of inspiration in our Bhakti Sadhana, Mataji, how we have to practice. And the way you narrated and you started the class and you ended the class, all very, very interesting, Mataji. Right. Thank you so much, Indu Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Please give your classes regularly, Mataji, so that we can continue our sadhana sincerely, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Thank you so much, Shama Supriya Mataji. It is, I was told this is coordinator week, so I just spoke for that. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful class, very beautiful examples and realizations and connecting points, philosophical points from purports. So nice, Mataji. I just second to all the comments, whatever everyone has done.
Thank you so much, Lalitangi Mataji.
Your patience.
Now, please give me more of your association, Mataji. It is very purifying. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Indu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances of Lord Krishna, Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Mataji, it's so nice. Everybody is commenting very nicely. Even I feel so
much enlightened by your class, Mataji. So nice examples, and then both history were very, very nice in the content, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. And also the things in the purport, I was just wondering, Mataji, the devotee in four varnas in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned Brahmana can become a Brahma Jignasa or something else, and then Kshatriya can become a king if he do hear the pastime of Lord, and then this one Vaishya can become a great Vaishya or something. He have so many animals, but in Sudra's case, it's so nice, Mataji. And you also narrate that the story of Kanchipuram is so related, Mataji. And devotee should have that Sudra's quality first of all to become a devotee. I was thinking, and also you also connect with the how Kali Yuga people, they are all Sudra and they have chance by the mercy of the Srila Prabhupada to become a devotee. It was so nice new. Amen, Mataji. Thank you so much for your assistance. Please give often class, Mataji. So nice.
Thank you so much, Anjana Gopika Mataji. And thank you to Prabhuji also for joining. Yes, Mataji, you really got listened so carefully, Mataji. Yes, that is what the purport is saying, and it's so beautifully Srila Prabhupada and even Maitreya Muni are saying that yes, a Shudra is the one who can become the topmost devotee. And so he's given us that beautiful benediction. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Indu, Latha Mataji, it's beautiful class, wonderful, wonderful pastimes. The way you described everything, it was perfect to the core. And in the end, you quoted the Srila Prabhupada's. Thank you so much, Mataji, from the bottom of the heart. Please give your association more often. And how you emphasize with these pastimes the importance of Shravanam, then the importance of doing devotional service, and how you basically stuck to the purport and you kind of dissected the purport and explain it in crisp details. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, Indu Gopi Mataji, and start with very sincerely all the prayers. It's touch to heart. It's really touch to heart. Like we hear from Senior Brahmachari, that much potency in your today's class. Please give your association regularly.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Indu Mataji.
Thank you, Palika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful class and very nice pastimes to hear. Just one, it's not a doubt, like it's a keen interest to know, like the Ramanujacharya pastimes and all, where we can get, Mataji, like this, if we want to read or hear.
I found them online, and also there Preeti Vilasini Mataji would be able to give you like the pure nice Sri Vaishnava sources also for it. But they are online, they have websites. Mataji, do you want to pitch in, Mataji?
Yeah, so Radhanath Swami Maharaj's lecture is there. Savatanya Yatra, like Vrinda Gopika Mataji was mentioning. He speaks in great detail about all the pastimes. The Kanchipurna pastimes also discussed. We can look up for the links and we can send it. And other than that, if you there is something called as in the Sri Vaishnava Guru Parampara, they have specific biographies, authentic biographies. So you can refer to that as a reference. But if you hear to Maharaj's class, it will be very potent. So that would be the suggestion, Mataji.
Yes, the material that I had was from Radhanath Maharaj Swami, Maharaj's Yatra only. So, but and I also
2007 Mataji, 2007 South India Yatra.
Yes, Mataji, okay. Wonderful.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji.
Avinanda Mataji, I have the 6 questions, but I think it is a topic on its own. It's there is a lot of information on it. I will share it with you.
Krishna Mataji, you can share it in the...
Yes, Mataji, I'll share it in Bhakti Sangha.
In the group, yeah. Thank you so much,
Mataji. Yeah, we'll just, after the class we can share it.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, if nobody have any question, can we end the call here? Okay, let us pay obeisances to Indu Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your valuable time and association. It was a beautiful class, Mataji. Please give us your association regularly. Thank you so much. Let us pay obeisances to Mataji and all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Indu Mataji ki jai. Thank you so